So my research topic was long-term health outcomes of people who suffer from Kwashiorkor and Marasmus in childhood. So a little bit about me. My name is Aspaan. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I go to Brandeis High School. So basically, Kwashiorkor, a little background, is like a disease caused by a low protein intake. So it's like a malnutrition. And Marasmus is it's the same thing, but you like lack all macronutrients, so you don't have any like carbs or proteins or fats. So basically, you're like fully malnourished. So my topic was like basically like what are long-term effects that happen like into your adulthood? Like, is there like a lack in growth or muscle development? So my research question was like how do childhood Kwashiorkor malnutrition impact physical, cognitive, and physiological and socio socioeconomic health, like adults? The importance. So it's important to like understand so like we could like find a way to like prevent the damage in future generations. And my objective was to like examine the long-term effects that adults will have when they recover. And this picture right here, it shows like a normal person without Kwashiorkor or Marasmus, and this is like a person with Kwashiorkor. You can see like a little bit of bloating in the stomach. So that's actually not because like they have food; it's because of the lack of food. So yeah. So my literature review. So my current research that's happening right now is like study on malnutrition on the height they'll have in like adults, and that's called stunting. So usually kids I suffer from Kwashiorkor or Marasmus have like a 1 to 2 inch like shorter their than their peers, and then like the cognitive and like disease risk from like the lack of immune system, like it wasn't built up properly. And theories that are happening right now is academic changes and impaired organ development. So because the main growth of like humans is from when they're born to like 3 years old, and that's usually when malnutrition hits them like hardest. So if they can be malnourished later in life and it won't have as much of an effect as if they were malnourished like from 1 to 3 years old, because that's most like critical uh growing ages of like kids. The weaknesses in the current studies is like there's no like long-term effects because people who usually have Kwashiorkor Marasmus usually don't survive as long as like to study. So we can't like see like a fully long-term effect. Okay. And there are 45 million kids that are suffering from Kwashiorkor Marasmus in sub-Saharan Africa alone. So it's like a pretty big disease there. So there are four main types of effects I studied: the physical, cognitive, physiological, and socioeconomic. The physical effects are like stunted growth, which basically means they didn't grow as tall, and reduced muscle mass. There's a higher risk of like diabetes, and yeah, and you can see right here, survivors are 1.8 inches shorter. The cognitive outcomes is like they have a low attention span, low memory. They don't have a good enough because of their like Kwashiorkor, they don't have like a good education because of their brain didn't develop as fast as kids who like it. And physiological, there's like high depression rates, anxiety rates. They have a lot of ADHD. And then socioeconomic, because they have lower earnings. We'll talk about this later, but they have lower earnings, so they go in a cycle where they go back in a Kwashiorkor, and then the kids are get the malnutrition, and then they uh because their kids get malnutrition, they also go through these same things, and then they also have socioeconomic problems, so they can't like uh get out of the cycle. So it's like a forever cycle basically. It's like a trap. So here's some pictures I want to talk about. So these are like the effects. So the main ones are muscle wasting, growth fatigue, and edema, which is like the swelling of the feet. Also fatty liver. Okay, and then here's the trap I was talking about. So you're born to malnutrition, then either you die or you get like disease problem because of low immunity. And then the disease either cause death or because you have the disease, you can't work. So you go back into malnutrition, your kids have malnutrition, and they either die or get diseases. And it's another picture I really liked. So it starts off with like low intake of probably calories. So that's hunger and food insecurity. Then it leads to poor health and disease. And because of that disease, you have to pay medical costs. You're unemployed. You don't have enough money. So low productivity basically means like you don't have enough. You're not working, so you don't get enough money. So you go back into poverty. And because of your poverty, you can't buy any food. So you're back in a low intake. So it's like a forever trap. It's hard to get out of. Um, a conclusion, a summary, Kwashiorkor results in like a lot of long-term effects on the physical health, cognitive health, mental, and socioeconomic status. My research question was like, how does childhood malnutrition impact the long-term health effects? And it does, a lot of it. People really think of like, oh, these kids are hungry in Africa, but they're not hungry. They because of their because they're used to not having enough food. Their appetite is not as high, so they don't really eat. So that's a problem. Say we bring them food, we bring them 2,000 calories a day, they don't have like the appetite to eat it all. So that's a big problem. So like there's this new thing called puppy nut. It's like peanut butter, but like they put like a bunch of like vitamins in it. They dose it with vitamins, and it's like super sweet. So kids love to eat that. Okay, and contributions. Like I provided a comprehensive review of like all of it, and then I highlighted the need for intervention. There is a need for intervention in the communities because the United Nations and all those big like corporations, they basically say like, oh, people should eat 2,000 calories a day. Oh, they should eat 40% proteins, 30% proteins on a 50% carbs and 20% fats. And they can't really do that because they don't got the money, they don't got nothing. So, and they don't got fertile land, they don't got anything to help them with that. So it's a big problem. And so limitations, again, the lack of like long-term data because these people don't survive as long. And when they do survive, it's usually a less severe case of Kwashiorkor or Marasmus. So that's another thing. And then that's it. So I like to talk about how Gifted Gabber helped me out. So I know Dr. Katie helped me with like my review of my paper. I really like that, and she also helped me with she also helped like with the history of disease modeling. I really like that, and she gives a lot of background knowledge of like how our presentation was like. And Professor Virgil also helped a lot with like the formatting, and she taught us like how to do AP. I mean, he taught us how to do APA and how to format it, and he helped me with my title and all kind of stuff. So like I really appreciate that. And also the Gifted Gab team has so much resources to help us out with the research paper because it's hard. It's intimidating going like head first into this research, but like all the resources they provide, like examples and all the slideshows and all like the people there to support you is really helpful. And yeah, thank you all so much.
Awesome job, Aspaan. Really, bringing insight into all this specific topic is very good. And also, I want to share that Aspaan has a passion for flying planes, right? Yes. So yeah, very good presentation. Dr. Kate, question for Aspaan.
Yes. On one of your slides, you reference epigenetic changes. Can you just tell us what you mean by that?
So basically, like, oh, there's a little echo. So when you get Kwashiorkor, your genes don't develop, right? Because it's in that 1 to 2 year, it's in that 1 to 3 year span where most kids get Kwashiorkor, and that's the most important time for growing. And so like nothing develops as quickly or properly, even like the organs and even like genetic structures. So they have a lot of like problems with that.
All righty. Thank you so very much. And you did a great job. It was a pleasure. And continued success. So great.